Hello students. The topic which we are going to discuss today is introduction to income tax. So some of the important issues are there, why there should be income tax imposed and why the government, this amount is being utilized by the government and why we are supposed to pay the income tax. There are so many questions which arise in our mind. So here this presentation would be answering to all these questions of yours. So here, why are taxes imposed? The first frequently arising question in our mind is this. So everybody is obliged by law to pay taxes. Total tax money goes to government. Government appointed government decides that how are taxes being spent and how are the budget are prepared. Tax payment is not optional. An individual has to pay tax if his or her income is coming under the income tax slab. It is a duty of every citizen to pay taxes. More collection of tax allows the government to launch more and more welfare schemes. Further, to provide basic facilities for every citizen of the country, whatever money is received by the government in terms of direct tax and indirect tax, it is spent by it for the welfare of the citizens of the country. Some of the services provided by the government are healthcare facilities, electricity, roads, education system, free houses for the poor, water supply, police, firefighters, etc. To finance multiple governments, all the local governments of the state like village panchayats, block panchayats, municipal corporations receive fund from the State Finance Commission. Further, the uses could be like protection of life. Taxpayers receive the protection of life and wealth from the government in case of external aggression, internal armed rebellion, or any other situation in exchange of tax paid by them. Dissatisfaction with the taxes. We often hear that there are so many scams in the country which confiscates the precious public money. So there are so many other reasons because of them taxpayers are angry, such as rate of income tax could be too high, unfair taxes collected from the people. Some rich people pay less tax while poor people have to pay higher taxes. Government is wasting tax of money due to inefficiency. Government is spending money on wrong or unnecessary things at times, so it becomes very difficult or digest for the public that their hard earned money is being misutilized. Now let's see taxation in India, an overview of it. India has a well developed tax structure with clearly demarcated authority between central and state governments and local bodies. Central government levies some direct and indirect taxes on individual and commodities respectively. Direct taxes are personal income, wealth tax, corporation tax, while indirect tax includes sales tax, excise duty, custom duty and service tax. Currently, corporation tax is around 20% of the total tax collection, is the biggest source of income for the central government. Now let's see the tax system in India. India has a well developed tax structure with clearly mentioning all three individuals. Then further we have value added tax. What is value added tax? Stamp duty, state excise, land revenue and profession tax are levied by the state government. There's a VAT, stamp duty, state excise, land revenue and profession tax. These are imposed by the state governments. Local bodies are empowered to levy tax on properties, octroi and for utilities like water supply and drainage, etc. Further, Indian taxation system has undergone tremendous reforms during the last decade. In the past 10 years, you would see many changes, many amendments have happened in the Indian tax system. The tax rates have been rationalized and tax laws have been simplified, resulting in better compliance, ease of tax payment and better enforcement. The process of rationalization of tax administration is ongoing still in India. Direct taxes. In case of direct taxes, income tax, wealth tax, corporation tax. Here, the burden directly falls on the taxpayer, on that is on the individual also. There are those taxes which cannot be transferred on others by the taxpayers. Income tax, according to Income Tax Act 1961, every person who are an assessee and whose total income exceeds maximum exemption limit shall be chargeable to the income tax at the rate or rates prescribed in the Finance Act. Such income tax shall be paid on the total income of the previous year in the relevant assessment year. Now, let's see what is corporate tax. It is a tax which is imposed on the net income of the companies. Companies, both private as well as public, which are registered in India under the Companies Act 1956, are liable to pay corporate tax. For the assessment year, the domestic companies are paying around 30% tax, corporation tax. Now let's see the different kinds of taxes relating to the company. Companies pay different kinds of tax such as minimum alternative tax, fringe benefit tax, dividend distribution tax, bank cash transaction tax, securities transaction tax. Though this dividend distribution tax has been removed from the current assessment year, that is your 1920. Now, what is this wealth tax? Wealth tax in India is levied under Wealth Tax Act 1957. Wealth tax is a tax on the benefits derived from the property ownership. The tax is to be paid year after year on the same property on its market value, whether or not such property yields any income. Under the Act, the tax is charged in respect of the wealth held during the assessment year by the following persons, like individual, Hindu undivided family, and the company. Now let's see indirect taxation. Indirect taxes are those taxes which can be transferred on the others by the taxpayers. As if the central government increases the rate of service tax on different services, then the sellers pass on this increment on the final consumers of the services. Sales tax. This is imposed on the sales of goods. It can be of two types: central sales tax and state sales tax. Now, central sales tax, it is generally payable on the sale of all goods by a dealer in the course of interstate trade or commerce or outside a state, or in the course of import into or export from India. Now let's see what is value added tax. VAT is a multi-stage tax on goods that is levied across various stages of production and supply, with the credit given for tax paid at each stage of value addition. Introduction of state level VAT is the most significant tax reform measure at the state level. The state level VAT has replaced the existing state sales tax. It was introduced from April 2005 in India. Now let's see what is the excise duty. Central excise duty is it is an indirect tax levied on goods manufactured in India. Excisable goods have been defined as those which have been specified in the Central Excise Tariff Act as being subjected to the duty of excise. There are three types of central excise duties collected in India, such as: number 1, basic excise duty. This is the duty charged under the section of the Central Excises and the Salt Act 1944 on all excisable goods other than the salt which are produced or manufactured in India at the rates set forth in a schedule to the Central Excise Tariff Act 1985. Basic excise duty. Second is additional duty of excise. As per the section 3 of additional duties of excise, it authorizes the levy and collection of respect of the goods described in the schedule to this act. This is levied in lieu of sales tax and shared between central and state governments. These are levied under different enactments like medicinal and toilet preparations, sugar, etc., and other industries development. Third one is special excise duty. Now, according to the section 37 of the Finance Act 1978, special excise duty was attracted on all excisable goods on which there is a levy of basic excise duty under the Central Excises of Salt Act 1944. Since then, each year the relevant provisions of the Finance Act specifies that the special excise duty shall be or shall not be levied and collected during the relevant financial year. Further, there comes the custom duty. Custom or import duties are levied by the central government of India on the goods which are imported from other countries to our country. The rate at which custom duties leviable are imposed on the goods depends on the classification of the goods determined under the customs tariff. The customs tariff is generally aligned with the harmonized system in line with the aligning customs duty and bringing it at par with the Asian level. The government has reduced the peak customs duty from 12.1% to 10% for all goods other than the agricultural products. So, as per the World Trade Organization dealings, they have reduced drastically the customs duties so that the customer could be benefited from the variety of products and also to build up the trade relations among different countries. Next comes the service tax. Service tax was introduced in India way back in 1944 and started with mere three basic services such as general insurance, stockbroking, and telephone. Today, the counter services subject to tax have reached over 120. There have been a steady increase in the rate of service tax. Currently, India receives nearly about 60% of its GDP from it. The current rate of service tax in India is around 14%. Now let's see briefly the history of income tax. Way back, if we talk about the history of Income Tax Act in modern India, it dates back around 1860. That is during the Britishers, when the first Income Tax Act was introduced by James Wilson, who became India's first finance member. So the most comprehensive income tax was the Income Tax Act of 1922. 1990 Chelmsford reforms made a distinction between the functions and resources of the state and the central government, and income tax every primary source of revenue during the central government. Now, some of the salient features of the 1922 Income Tax Act. The rate of taxes are to be decided every year by the Special Finance Act at the time of annual budget. It provided for ex parte assessment. Tax deducted source was made compulsory for private employers. Reopening of the assessment was permitted. Tax collected in the year 1922 was almost around 22 crores. Further, based on the recommendation of Professor Nicholas, called the Wealth Tax Act 1957 was introduced. The Expenditure Tax Act 1957 and the Gift Tax Act 1952 were introduced. Income Tax Act 1961 came into existence with effect from 1st of April 1962 based on the recommendation of the Law Commission of the Enquiry Committee. The Central Board of Revenue Act 1963 replaced the Central Board of Revenue with two different boards, that is Central Board of Direct Tax and Central Board of Excise and Customs, for administering direct and indirect taxes. In 1966, Intelligence Wing was created and placed under the charge of Directorate of Inspection, Committee for Rationalization and Simplification of Tax Structure. The Indian economy is moving towards the increased globalization from 1990 onwards. In 1993, Authority for Advanced Rulings was set up to provide the non-residents with the facility of ascertaining in advance their income of tax liability. The permanent account number, it is a 10-digit alphanumeric number, was launched in 1994. It acts as a unique identifier and enables the department to link all the transactions like tax payment, TDS, TCS, credits, income tax returns, high value transactions to individual taxpayers. More than 12 crore PANs have been allotted so far and is gradually increasing. Thank you.